In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.
Third and final segment of the show. I am Paul Amadeus Lane. You are in the tech zone. And don't forget, you can always connect with me, paulamadeouslane.com. You can catch the show on YouTube, live stream, iHeartRadio. Just search Tech Zone with Paul Amadeus Lane. Don't forget to download the app, Android and iOS app. You'll search Tech Zone, Paul Amadeus Lane. Can't believe we're at the end of our show. This is for us gamers out there. So if you're not a gamer, still stay tuned. Maybe we'll whet your appetite when it comes to gaming. And also, I want to tell you guys a secret so bad, but I can't say it now. I'll probably be able to say it next show. So you have to tune in. That's a way to tease. But recently, the highly anticipated video game God of War was released for PS4. Did it live up to the hype? Have you played it already? Have you beat it? Well, my next guest is going to answer that question and much more. Whenever I want to catch up on what's going on in the latest in the gaming industry, I always call on my homeboy from the NYC, Tony Polanco, gamer, editor extraordinaire, and a pretty good gamer too. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, Paul? What's going on? What's going on, man? Always happy to be on the Tech Zone, you know?
Man, great to have you, man. We know we're about several weeks away from E3, and that's where we met, man, and had our friendship, man. and now we're both doing big things.
Yeah, isn't that incredible, man? You know, humble beginnings, and look at us now. You know, it's amazing.
And I want to tell you, man, the article that you did on God of War was amazing. You know, when it came out, I text you right away and be like, "Yo, I need to get Christopher Judge, man. I gotta do it." So, I mean, that was incredible. And that's one of the things I wanted to have you on. You and I were there a few years ago at the Sony media event for E3. And that's when they opened up the event with the opera singers, the girl beatboxing. And that's when we got a glimpse of the new God of War. And everybody was like, wow, we can't wait till it comes out. It's finally out, Tony. Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, most certainly, man. Like we were talking before we started recording how like I got the game, you know, a couple weeks before everybody so I could play it. And like those 2 weeks were so difficult because I beat the game fast. Like when I got it on a Friday, I beat it Saturday. Like I just didn't stop, you know, like I only stopped to like, you know, take care of my bodily functions or whatever, you know. But it was tough because I couldn't tell anybody about how like amazing the game was. So when it finally did come out, it was really like satisfying to see everybody enjoy it as much as I did. So yeah, to answer your question, did it live up to the hype? It like surpassed the hype. This game is like on a whole other level, man. Like games that are coming out now are gonna look at this one for inspiration to see how they could incorporate some of those ideas and mechanics into their games because this is like revolutionary, man.
And you know what? And I'm glad you brought that up. You know, because I remember you and I have been talking about it for the last couple of years. We couldn't wait till it come out. And you could tell just by the snippets that we were able to watch at the PlayStation event a few years ago that this game was going to be the real deal. And then at PSX, when they had little blurbs about it too, you knew that the writing style, just the voice actors that they got involved in it. In the words of my man from Jurassic Park, they spared no expense, man.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, they got some top-notch talent. You know, as you know from my interview, they got Christopher Judge. He's the new Kratos. Jeremy Davies from Lost. He's in there. Danielle. I don't know what she did. And then obviously Corey Barlog. He's returning. He directed God of War too. He came back. So yeah, definitely top. Like when you play the game, you know, when it comes to the voice acting, the visuals, the level design, they definitely did not spare any expense. They went all out, man. Because again, this is here's what I said about God of War during my review of it. Even though I love this series, I've been playing them since day one. I do feel that the series had already run its course. Those particular type of games have run their course. So if you release another God of War game in the exact same vein, I don't think it would have worked well. So I'm glad they I was going to say they changed the form, but they didn't rechange. They just added a couple of things there because at its core, it is still a God of War experience. It's just the way it's presented is very different than before. It's more modern for sure. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about this game. And it's just amazing. Like I said, Sony Santa Monica Studio, they really have elevated the game right now for everybody in the industry.
Tell me about it. Let's get some shots out there to the folks we know out there. Sam Thompson out there, Franco and the guys, and our good friend Dajane. We got to give Daji some love, right?
Of course.
Absolutely. But yeah, and that's one thing about Sony Santa Monica Studios. Got a chance to meet those cats last year. These guys are on a different level when it comes to creating games. And that's one thing that we talked about. You and I both being disabled, they're even making sure that gaming is accessible and inclusive for all. And that's why, full disclosure, that's why I love PlayStation. You know, PlayStation, I think they are really at the forefront now when it comes to gaming, man.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the whole accessibility thing, it definitely like I don't see. I'm just being honest. I don't really see Nintendo doing much. Microsoft is trying to do some stuff, which is good, but Sony is really at the forefront. And even God of War, it just like Uncharted 4 has accessibility options. Because some people they have a hard time pressing buttons repeatedly or things like that. So there's like things in the game within the menus that you could change around to make it, not necessarily easier, but definitely like like a smoother experience if you have some problems interacting with the controller.
And I know looking at some of the reviews online, 9.5 out of 10 God of War has gotten from a lot of people, and it's it definitely lived up the hype. And that leads to another question, Tony. We know we know that E3 is coming up. What do you think that a PlayStation is going to really throw at us at the media event this year? What do you think it is? The new game? Use your inner Jedi and tell me what you think we're going to have this year.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, man, because last 2 years, Sony has kind of shown us the same footage from the same games. A lot of these games are already out or they're just about to come out, like Spider-Man's coming in September. So I'm wondering, what are they going to show, right? Like, are you going to show us Last of Us 2 again? I mean, that's great. If they show us that, that'd be fantastic. But we've seen that already, right? And it's funny, you're asking me to use my crystal ball, but I honestly don't know what they're going to be showing this year. I'm going to assume that, we're going to probably see some new stuff because remember, we're kind of nearing the end of the PlayStation 4's life cycle. So a lot of these games have been cooking, that have been pressure cooking all these years are finally coming to fruition. For example, look at God of War, 4 years to make that game, right? So I think some of these games are coming out. But it's interesting. Sony is kind of playing things close to the vest this year. I don't exactly know why. Maybe they want to make E3 like this big blowout, event, like surprise event. We don't really get too many surprises at E3 anymore, but yeah, my hope is that they are going to show us something new because they've kind of been retreading the same games during two E3s and even PSX to some extent.
And I'm looking forward to Detroit coming out. I know you and I got a chance to play that at PSX, and I think that game is definitely going to be off the chain, man. What do you expect for Detroit when that finally drops?
Yeah, I just expect more goodness from Quantic Dream. They always deliver the goods, as far as I'm concerned. I really loved Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls. It was good. It wasn't as great as Heavy Rain, but I expect this one to be a little bit heavier, especially because of the fact that the subject matter dealing with it. Robots questioning their humanity and all of that. And like we talked about when we played the demo, it was just harrowing. Like, even though like you don't really interact with the game in a traditional sense, it's more button presses or whatever. It's harrowing stuff, man. Like, and it's funny because when we were there, we saw people make different choices for. It was the same scenario, and everybody kept coming up with different choices. Like, I know, like my choice like surprised me at the end. Like, I tried to save the little girl, and I ended up like I did save her, but I ended up sacrificing myself. Nobody else did that during that playthrough that day. So yeah, that's gonna be a big game. That's gonna be pretty much Sony's big game for this month, for the month of May, because you had God of War in April. This one, yeah, Sony again. They're on this whole level right now. They're just releasing these top tier games that cannot be denied.
Yeah, I totally agree. What else is going on in the gaming world out there that everyone should be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing everybody's waiting on right now is E3. But before I get ahead of myself, today, as we're recording this, the new trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 dropped. As you already know, everybody's insanely hyped for this. And it's crazy because every time they drop a new trailer, Rockstar Games drops a new trailer, it always feels like forever since the last one. And it's true. It's actually been 7 months since we got another trailer. Very slowly, very meticulously rolling this thing out. And I do understand that the game was delayed because they wanted to, make it better and stuff. Now the game's coming out in October, which is funny because a lot of big games, I'm talking about games like Call of Duty or whatever, they always come out either at the end of October or in November. Everybody's staying away from October this year. I'm noticing that Tomb Raider's coming out in September, Spider-Man's coming out in September, Call of Duty's, I believe, is early October. Everyone's giving Red Dead a wide berth. They are not messing around with this game because they already know. They already know. Rockstar, like, here's the funny thing, going back to Sony, it's like, yeah, as big and as anticipated as Sony's games are, Rockstar games is on a whole other level when it comes to anticipation. They don't even need E3. They announce them whenever they want, So, yeah, that's the big thing that's going on right now. But besides that, everybody's kind of gearing up for E3. It's going to be interesting in the next couple of weeks because they're going to be, and Paul, you've noticed too, I call it the calm before the storm. Not going to be too much news, and all of a sudden, bam, you just get hit with stuff.
Yeah.
So get ready for that, people. It's going to be insane.
And you know what? They listen to our feedback too, Tony. I don't know if you saw. There are times when industry and journalists are there without the public. So we'll be able to go there a couple hours before so that we can get our stories, we can, get our interviews and everything without being, crowded by the masses and the fanboys and everything. So they finally took our advice from last year. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm great because even though, okay, I will say this just for full disclosure, like my actual appointments, I didn't have a problem with because they actually made sure to have like a specific session for the press to play their games in peace, right? But yeah, getting to the appointments was a little bit of a trick. A lot of bodies there last year. So I'm glad that this time they're going to have, it's 3 hours every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for us. Then the rest of the day, that's when they have the fans come in. That's good because I'm conflicted a little bit because part of me, wants this to be a press only thing like it used to be back in the day, right? But at the same time, I understand that for E3 to continue being relevant, it needs to have the fans in there because let's just be honest here. And Paul, as much as I love E3, in this day and age, it's not exactly necessary anymore, right? Companies could announce things whenever they want. Before, it used to be you had to announce everything at E3 because the internet didn't exist. Mm-hmm. Nothing like that existed. You had to have the press there to curate all this information for you. Now, companies can just go on YouTube and just tell you whatever they want. So E3 is not necessary in that regard. So in order to keep it going, right, keep it viable, you need to have the fans in there to bring in the money and all that. But it is good that we're getting those days. Now, I think E3, they're taking cues from other gaming events like Tokyo Game Show or Gamescom, where those are public events as well, right? But the beginning of each of those days, and sometimes they have full dedicated days just for the press. So I know me and you, we're going to be trying to get those early morning appointments as quickly as possible,
That's so true because I know I got a press release from our friends over at Entertainment Software, ESA, I believe, ESA.
Yeah, ESA, yeah.
Yeah, we got the press release about how eSports is really going to, because I remember last year Twitch had their own little Twitch pavilion with the eSports and everything last year over at LA Live. It looks like this year eSports is going to expand a little bit. What do you think about that and that coming to E3 as far as, getting a bigger presence now at E3?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. That's where the industry is going. Thanks to things like Twitch and all that, esports has blown up. And it's interesting because I remember esports was a big thing in Asia. This was like 15 years ago. I remember seeing those, not World of Warcraft, StarCraft, those StarCraft tournaments in Korea. It was crazy. They're filling up stadiums as big as Madison Square Garden. Now that's happening here, right? And so it makes perfect sense. If E3 is the celebration of games and the games industry, you need to have the esports stuff in there. And esports is getting wild. Just yesterday, I did a story about how the NBA, the National Basketball Association, is going to have their own esports league, and they're going to treat it just like a regular NBA season. This is real right now. I know there's some people out there who kind of like poo-poo on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, esports is not real sports. Like, listen, they're not traditional sports. I will give you that, but the dedication and the I guess, for the lack of a better term, the determination, dedication, the drive, it's the same as a regular athlete. So you can't really discount these people. I can't play on that level. You can't play on their level, so you can't consider them athletes in that way. So I think it's actually kind of cool that they're going to be doing that for, E3. Don't get me wrong. I'm not exactly a big esports guy like that. I prefer to actually play my games instead of watching people. I don't really, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like to watch games, but I respect what's going on, and I think that's a good thing for gaming.
You know, my last show, I talked about how they just launched the first ever eSports Network 24/7 news, and I was like, wow. See, that's when you know that something has arrived, when they have that 24/7 news channel, kind of like cable news. Remember when CNN first launched?
I remember that.
And the news 24/7. We're gonna get tired of it, but that really shows, man. You know, things have arrived in $1.5 billion industry. I mean, it's like, Tony, we gotta get a piece of that pie, bro. We gotta get some of that, comeuppance like that, man.
Yeah, because right now we just getting crumbs.
Yeah, getting crumbs, man. We need to eat at the table with everybody else. Hey, but before I let you go, bro, anything else out there you like to articulate to the audience out there about gaming news or anything else you like to bring up?
Yeah, not really too much. Like I said, I'm personally excited for E3. What's going on? I love going out there so I could, see you and some of my other friends out there. As far as larger gaming news goes, yeah, definitely be on the lookout for this fall. You're gonna get a lot of big releases. You're gonna get Spider-Man on PS4. You're gonna get Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Excuse me, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. You're gonna get Red Dead Redemption 2. The new Call of Duty's coming out, right? It's gonna be a big year for gaming, man. I also believe Battlefield 5 is coming out this year, right? And then not to get too off track, but be on the lookout for more battle royale games. Everything's incorporating them. I heard Call of Duty is going to be incorporating battle royale. These are games like PUBG or Fortnite, right? Battlefield's supposed to be incorporating some battle royale stuff. So I think that's going to be the next big trend in gaming. So look out for more games to do that. But at the same time, because of the success of God of War, I also expect some companies to start doubling down on single player experience games too, because God of War proved that. Because remember last year they were saying, "Oh, these kind of games are dead now. Nobody wants these." God of War comes out, blows everybody away.
It sure does.
So expect that, man. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. It's going to be a pretty exciting latter half of the year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks like God of War did with Battlefront 2 couldn't do, right? Live up to the hype.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man, don't get me started.
Watch out for them crates, man. The crates are back, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the only crate in God of War is Kratos, man.
Yes, Christopher Judge. Huge shout out to him, man. I was a huge fan of him in Stargate SG-1, man.
That's right, man.
Indeed. I loved him, man. I'm gonna interview him, and when I do, I'm gonna say, hey, my boy Tony had you first, so I'm glad you had me second. So
yeah. By the way, before we wrap up, I got to tell this story because again, we always have to emphasize the fact that there aren't a lot of like handicapped journalists doing this stuff, right? So this story is a little bit more appropriate. And I told him this too. I thanked him for this. Okay, I live in New York. In case you guys can tell by my accent. And I can't travel to any train station I want to, right? I always have to go to ones that have elevators, right? So for the day of my interview, I looked at the map and I saw a train station that was close enough, right? It was about 5 blocks away. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever, right? That night, Corey Barlog, the director of God of War, was tweeting out pictures of him in New York, right? And on the side of one of his pictures was a train station for Chambers Street, right? And I noticed it had the little wheelchair symbol on it. I'm like, wait a minute, Chambers Street? So I looked it up on the map. That station, 1 block away from the building I needed to go to. So I'm like, yo, this man just saved me a trip. And so I thanked him. I'm like, instead of walking 5 blocks, I just had to walk 1. And he was, found that pretty interesting. I figured you find that interesting. Yeah. Some of the little things that we got to deal with, just to get these things to you guys,
Tell me about it, man. And Tony's one of the baddest gamer writers on the planet, and he's a pretty good gamer too, even though he's scared to come at me in Madden, though, but it's cool though.
Yeah, no, you'll beat me in Madden. I have no Madden skills. The last football game I played was Tecmo Football back in the day.
Oh man, love Tecmo Bowl. I love playing Bo Jackson, man. Nobody can stop him.
Yeah, there you go. See, I'll challenge you in those, but Madden, you got me on that, brother.
We'll do it. Well said, my friend. Hey, so how can ones catch up on all that great gamer news that you put out there?
Yeah, man. So check me out over on Twitter. My handle is Romudeth. That's ROMUDETH. And in my bio, there's links to geek.com, my articles there. I also host the Throwdown show over on YouTube. We have 2 episodes a week. We have the standard show where we talk about gaming news that happened that week. And then Sunday, we actually answer fan questions. It's pretty interesting how we've had 180 episodes of nothing but fan questions, and they always have something new for us. And we also do game streams because, again, we know, fans like that sort of stuff. So we do those on the weekends as well. A lot of content over there. And then obviously on Twitter, even though I have calmed down with trying to bait these fanboys, I do try to keep it insightful and fun these days. Not too much craziness going on right now. I have calmed it down, try to be a little professional. I got that little check mark now, so I got to keep it little civil. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, check me out on Twitter, man. Interact with me. I will always talk back to you, man.
You said fanboys need love too, right?
Yeah, man, you're right. Exactly.
My man, Tony Polanco, the Dominican Dominator in the house. Great talking to you, my friend. Look forward to chatting with you soon.
Always, man. Take care.
Once again, a huge shout out to my great friend, Tony Polanco, the Dominican Dominator. It was like a New York theme, this show I had. Samara on from New York. I had Tony on from New York. It's all about the NYC today on the Tech Zone. So don't forget to follow Tony at Romudeth. And Romudeth is spelled D-E-T-H, not D-E-A-T-H. Yeah. Check Tony out in his writings. Sean, yeah. You going to get the game, Sean? Sean's like, yeah, I'm definitely going to get it. Well, Sean is really a Elders of the Lost Squirrel kind of gamer, right there, PC gamer. But pretty cool, though. Hey, well, until next time, take care of yourself. And I'm hoping I can tell you this great news next Saturday, the next show. I hope so. Hey, take care of yourself. Talk to you guys soon.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone.